Welcome back to the broadcast. Today we're going to get into arteries of the head, face, and neck. Welcome again. I'm your cosmetology coach, Leon Porter, and today I'm going to be sharing with you, some information about the different arteries of the head, the face, the neck, and we're going to touch bases on that. As cosmetologists, we must know these different areas because you may think, well, what does anatomy and physiology has to do with cosmetology? Well, when you're working on individuals, you're working on body parts. You will get an opportunity to practice facials on one another, manipulation of the muscle tissue, and you want to know how you will be learning how to go with the muscle tissue instead of against the muscle tissue. They both have different effects. You don't want to ball your face up when you put lotion on. You want to follow the grooves, the contours of the muscle. And there's a lot more that's involved in it, but that's just a basis. So anatomy and physiology, this is the continuation of it. And today we're going to get started with the today's vocabulary words. And welcome again, and thank you for joining. The first artery of the head, face, and neck, the common carotid arteries. Common carotid arteries. And I will be taking time to articulate as well as pronounce the words for the ones that are not familiar with the words and how to say them. And then I will follow through with a definition. And always remember, all of these terms, these are medical terms. I know you're not in medical school, but they can relate to terms that are medical. But these are cosmetology terms that you will need to know regarding anatomy and physiology as a cosmetology student. And this information is public information. You can look the terms up online, do a internet search, and there you have it. The terms may be in a different way or different description, but the foundation of it will be based upon, what it is actually given the definition of. But in my notes, I'm going to read to you what I have in my notes regarding these terms that you need to know. Okay? All right. Common carotid arteries are the main arteries that supply blood to the head, face, and neck. So the common carotid arteries, is just a straight to the point description and definition. It supplies blood to the head, the face, and the neck. It is actually an important artery. It is an artery that you do not want damaged in any way, but sometimes that does happen to where the carotid arteries are damaged. And listen, if it's not, if the individual does not receive prompt, immediate, urgent, seriously urgent medical attention, then it can bleed out. There is a lot of blood that flows through the common carotid arteries. That's on the side in this region. So, being that it does supply is the blood supply to the head, face, and neck. The common carotid arteries are located, as I had indicated, on both sides, and it is divided into the common carotid arteries are divided into internal and external branches. The internal carotid artery supplies blood to the brain, the eyes, eyelids, forehead, nose, and internal ear. Okay, I'm going to repeat that for you again. The internal carotid arteries supplies blood to the brain, eyes, eyelids, forehead, nose, and internal ear. That is the internal carotid artery. It also involves, when it concerns the common carotid arteries, the second artery is the external carotid artery. external carotid artery. The external carotid artery is an artery that supplies blood to the anterior, meaning anterior is in the front, posterior is in the back. So this particular artery supplies blood to the front parts of the scalp, ear, face, neck, and sides of the head. External carotid arteries. Next definition is supraorbital artery. Supraorbital artery. This particular artery supplies blood to the upper eyelid and forehead. Supraorbital artery. Infraorbital artery. Infraorbital artery supplies blood to the muscles of the eye. Infraorbital artery. Infraorbital artery supplies blood to the muscles of the eye. Now, the next term is in relation to the face, the facial artery. The facial artery is also known as the external maxillary artery. And remember where the maxilla is around, it's the jaw. Okay, it's talking about, your bite. And this particular artery is going to, supply blood to the lower region of the face, the mouth, and nose. Face, mouth, and nose is the facial artery. That artery supplies blood to the face, the mouth, and the nose, and is also known as the external maxillary artery. External maxillary artery. Now, when it concerns this particular artery, there are some important branches that we're going to go over, and I'm going to review with you for you to learn. Again, it's vitally important that you study because studying brings about the grade that you want to receive in your cosmetology class so you can pass state board. It prepares you for state board. I have mentioned state board and emphasized it a lot when it concerns studying because that is how passionate I am regarding you passing your cosmetology boards. Okay, so be sure that you're studying. But this particular artery, the facial artery, has some branches, and we're going to discuss them at this present time. Submental artery is part of the facial artery. Inferior labial artery is another one, artery that is. Angular artery is associated with the external maxillary artery or the facial artery. And superior labial artery, that is the fourth, that is associated with the facial artery. Now, submental artery supplies blood to the chin and the lower lip. Submental artery. Inferior labial artery supplies blood to the lower lip. Had to find my place there for a moment. So the inferior labial artery supplies blood to the lower lip. Angular artery supplies blood to the nose. Angular artery. Superior labial artery supplies blood to the upper lip and region of the nose. So the angular artery supplies blood where? To the side of the nose. Okay, yes, very good. Submental artery supplies blood where? to the chin and lower lip. What about the inferior labial artery? Where does the inferior labial artery supply blood? Yes, it supplies blood to the lower lip. Very good. Very good. All right, let's keep it rocking and rolling. Keep progressing. Superficial temporal artery is a continuation of the external carotid artery. It supplies blood to the muscles of the side, the front, and the top of the head. Some of the most important superficial temporal artery branches include let me say that again. Remember, these videos are live, okay? So what you see is what you get. Some of the important superficial temporal artery branches include frontal artery, parietal artery, transverse facial artery, middle temporal artery, and anterior auricular artery, anterior auricular artery, and the occipital artery is, another aspect. Let's get into the superficial temporal artery. The frontal artery supplies blood to the forehead and the upper eyelids. Frontal artery. All right, as we move along in the notes, parietal artery supplies blood to the side and crown of the head. Parietal artery. Transverse facial artery supplies blood to the skin and the masseter muscle. Transverse facial artery. Middle temporal artery supplies blood to, as it says in the name, to the temple area. So the middle temporal artery supplies blood to the temples. Anterior auricular artery supplies blood to the front part of the ear. Anterior auricular artery. Now, when it concerns the occipital artery supplies blood to skin and muscles of the scalp and back of the head and crown. So that is the occipital artery. Next in the notes, posterior auricular artery supplies blood to the scalp area behind and above the ear and the skin behind the ear. Posterior auricular artery. Now, we're going to move forward in the next topic where it discusses veins of the head, face, and neck, because veins are vitally important. It helps to transport the blood and oxygenate the areas of the head, face, and neck. And the blood returning from the heart, from the head, face, and neck flows to each side of the neck in two principal veins. And those veins are internal jugular vein. This particular vein is located at the side of the neck to collect blood, that is, from the brain and parts of the face and neck. Internal jugular vein. External jugular vein. This vein is located at the side of the neck and carries blood returning to the heart from the head, face, and neck. Okay, so that is the description of internal jugular vein and external jugular vein, vital veins. Okay, now let's get into the blood supply to the arm and the head. Okay, so we're going to be discussing blood supply to the arm and the hand. The ulnar and radial, now, whenever we were discussing the bones, I would suggest you highly go back and watch that video when I was discussing with you in that lesson about the bones, the ulnar and the radial bone, the ulnar and the radius. There it is, ulnar and the radius. The location, the demographics, where it is on your body, and where it's located. And I gave you a tip to where the ulnar is located. So my question to you, as we take this little 15-second break thereabout, where is the ulnar? Where is it on your body? Correct. The ulnar is ulnar. Both begins under ulnar. Both words begin with the letter U, so that's where the ulnar is located. What about the radius? The radius, where is your radius? Can you point to your radius? Very good. The radius, that's the radial bone. Ulnar bone underneath, radial bone on top. All right. So now when it concerns the ulnar artery, there are numerous branches that supply blood to the limbs, to the little finger. The ulnar artery supplies blood to the little finger side of the arm and palm of the hand. That's the ulnar artery. It supplies blood to the little finger side of the arm and palm of the hand. Radial artery and its branches supply blood to the thumb side of the arm and back of the hand. It goes on to say in my notes here that the radial artery supplies blood to muscles of the skin, hand, fingers, wrist, elbow, and the forearm. So the radial artery has a far-reaching effect, even more than the ulnar artery when it concerns supplying blood to these areas. Blood supply to the lower leg and foot. Well, the main arteries that supply these regions of the leg are the Popliteal Artery and its branches, and the Dorsalis Pedis Artery. And we'll get into the enunciation, the pronunciation, the articulation of the words on how to say them if you're unfamiliar with these terms, okay? All right, Popliteal Artery. In my notes, the Popliteal Artery supplies blood to the foot. It divides into two separate arteries known as the Anterior Tibial Artery, the Anterior Tibial Artery, and its branches, and the Posterior Tibial Artery. That is the Popliteal Artery. The Anterior Tibial Artery supplies blood to the lower muscles and to the muscles. Let me start that over again. In the notes here it says the anterior tibial artery supplies blood to the lower leg muscles and to the muscles and skin on top of the foot and adjacent sides of the first and second toes. This particular artery continues to the foot where it becomes the Dorsalis Pedis Artery. So we're building upon some vocabulary terms that we've touched bases on in the previous section that I did with you regarding lessons. Just go back and watch those particular videos so you can also have this foundation under you, the way these words and terms are not new. I always suggest that you start from the beginning and then follow through as needed, watching and being educated, with these particular videos that discuss these previous vocabulary terms. So the more you hear it, the more you get understanding, the more knowledge, the more wisdom as a cosmetology student regarding how these videos are structured in helping you to learn and pass class. Okay, the next term, vocabulary term, posterior tibial artery. This particular artery supplies blood to the ankle and back of the lower leg. The Dorsalis Pedis artery supplies blood to the foot. Dorsalis Pedis artery. Look out for pedestrians. You may see a sign on the side of the road that says pedestrians. Ped means individuals that are walking. They're not on bikes. They're not on scooters. They're not in a vehicle. They're walking. So ped. So that there's an association there where it speaks of Dorsalis Pedis artery supplying blood to the foot. Okay. All right. Well, that concludes this particular broadcast. Again, thank you for watching, and hopefully you're learning what you need to learn to become a student of excellence in cosmetology. Stay tuned for the next video. The next video is we're going to be rocking and rolling regarding the immune system, meaning the lymphatics. And that is a video that you do not want to miss. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and click that notification button. See you in the next lesson. All right, we're going to be talking about the lymphatic system or the immune system. Welcome to today's broadcast. We're going to be really focusing in on that, and I'm going to share with you some notes regarding the immune system or the lymphatics. And thank you for watching again. And hopefully that you're learning when you're tuning into these broadcasts. It is my hope that you're learning what you need to learn to become a student of excellence in cosmetology. And the foundation of this particular broadcast is helping you to pass class. That is what it's all about. All right, let's dive right into it. This particular broadcast is going to be talking about the lymphatics, the immune system, as aforementioned. All right, so in the notes, there's a working definition that I want to give you when it concerns the immune system. The immune system is made up of several different types of nodes. And so it helps to fight off disease, sickness. Your immune system really works to keep your body safe and free of disease. And with this particular broadcast, we're going to talk about the different areas. But the immune system or the lymphatics is made up of lymph. That's a definition term for you. Lymph nodes and the thymus gland, the spleen, and the lymph vessels. So these different organs work together to create, as part of the immune system or the lymphatics. Lymph is a clear fluid that circulates in the lymph spaces of the body, or the lymphatics of the body. In the notes, it goes on to say lymph helps carry waste and impurities away from cells before it is routed back into the circulatory system. We discussed in the previous broadcast about the circulatory system. So go back and watch that video. The lymphatics or the immune system is closely connected to the cardiovascular system. So they work hand in hand with each other together, that is, to make sure the body is in a state of good health. All right. When it concerns lymph capillaries, they occur individually or in clusters. That is what a lymph capillary is. Lymphatics are vessels that are state-of-the-art tubes within the human body. I mean, the human body is amazing. I know you thank God for yours, as I do. I thank God for mine. But it is highly structured And when you're dealing with cosmetology, you're dealing with your hands-on with the client, and you need to know about this particular anatomy and physiology, continuation regarding the lymphatics and the immune system, so you know how to provide and perform the proper services on clients. And not only that, but it also will give you some insight on what you need to look out for, some contraindications, and what that means, things you should not be doing, versus things that you should be doing as cosmetologists. Now, when it concerns the lymph capillaries, these are blind-end tubes, as it goes on to say in my notes. The lymph capillaries are blind-end tubes that are the origin of the lymphatic vessels. Now, the next term is called lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are gland-like structures found inside lymphatic vessels. Lymph nodes. Okay, the primary function of the lymphatic system, we did touch bases on that, but let's move on to reiterate it even more. The primary function of the lymphatic system is to carry nourishment from the blood to supply body cells. The lymphatic system also provides a suitable fluid environment for the cells. The lymphatic system also removes waste from cells and to get it out of the body. Lymph nodes, the lymphatic system or the immune system also acts as a defense against toxins and bacteria. Okay, we're going to move forward in this lesson, and we're going to discuss the endocrine system. The endocrine system. The endocrine system is a group of specialized glands that affect the growth, development, sexual functions, and health of the entire body. That is the endocrine system. Glands are secretory organs that remove and release certain elements, that is, from the blood and convert them into new compounds. There are two main glands. There are endocrine glands, which are also known as ductless glands. So if you get a question on the test and your cosmetology teacher says, "What are ductless glands?" your answer will be, ? Endocrine glands. Very good. Very good. Endocrine glands are known as ductless glands, such as the thyroid, pituitary glands, both of those, that release hormonal secretions that directly into the bloodstream. So that is the one of the two main types of glands, the endocrine gland. Exocrine gland is the second. This is known as a duct gland, D-U-C-T, duct gland. Question: what gland is considered in the endocrine system duct glands? Okay, or the lymphatics, that is, the immune system? Well, your answer is exocrine glands. That's correct. Very good. Exocrine glands, also known as duct glands, such as sweat and oil glands of the skin, produce a substance that travels through the small tubes like ducts. So we know what it's like to sweat. We know what it's like for the skin to get oily, and we treat it proper to make sure that we reverse some of those effects if it's too oily or we're sweating a lot. Both of these mechanisms that the body, or these glands that is, on the body have very important roles as well. Hormones are secretions such as insulin, adrenaline, and estrogen that stimulate functional activity and other secretions in the body. So hormones influence the well-being and the welfare of the entire body. Women, I know when it concerns not personally, but I've seen what you've gone through. I've overheard what you've gone through when it concerns the hormones that are in the female body and many things that you go through. And I just wanted to salute you because we as men, we don't understand those things. And we just, say, yeah, okay, well, all right. But women, my hat's off. Hats are off, okay? I'm not going any further with that. Hats off to you when it concerns hormones, okay? And I say that respectively, so don't take it the wrong way. Okay, excuse me. The endocrine glands, that is, and their functions are as follows. So now we're going to get into the functions of the endocrine glands. Pineal gland. Pineal gland. This particular gland plays a major role, has a lot of significance when it concerns sexual development, sleep, and metabolism. Pineal gland. Pituitary gland. Powerhouse gland. Pituitary, powerhouse, both begin with P's. That's going to help you as a suggestion. Remember that particular gland because it is a powerhouse gland. You hear what I said? Okay, all right. This is the most complex organ of the endocrine system, the pituitary gland. This gland affects almost every physiological process of the body. Pituitary gland. When it concerns growth, blood pressure, contractions during childbirth, breast milk production, sexual organ functions in both women and men. Thyroid gland function, conversion of food into energy, which is called metabolism, and it just goes on and on and on about this powerhouse pituitary gland. Remember it. Thyroid gland. Thyroid gland. This gland controls how quickly the body burns energy, such as metabolism as well. Makes proteins and how sensitive the body should be to other hormones. Thyroid gland. Parathyroid glands. Parathyroid glands. This particular gland regulates blood calcium and phosphorus levels so that the nervous and muscular systems can function properly throughout the day or night. Parathyroid glands. The pancreas. Pancreas. The pancreas secretes enzymes or enzyme-producing cells that are responsible for digesting carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Pancreas. The islet of Langerhans or Langerhans, cells within the pancreas control insulin and glucagon production. More vocabulary words for you to study. Adrenal glands. Adrenal glands. Adrenal glands secrete about 30 steroid hormones. All right, so now this is another powerhouse. And the adrenal glands are like in a fight or flight response whenever you are, you're keyed up. You got to defend yourself or whatever situation it may be. You live long enough, you'll get there when it concerns feeling the effects of the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands secrete about 30 steroid hormones and control metabolic processes of the body, including the fight, as aforementioned, and flight response. Ovaries. Ovaries. The ovaries are female sexual glands. The function of the ovaries is reproduction, as well as determining female sexual characteristics. Ovaries. Testes. Testes. Testicle, singular. The testicles are male organ Male sexual glands. The function of the testes is also reproduction, as well as determining male sexual characteristics. All right, hopefully that you're learning what you need to learn. That's a lot of material. We talked about the lymphatics, the immune system in this particular lesson, the endocrine system, and our next lesson that is on cue is involving the digestive system. So you do not want to miss that lesson. Be sure to subscribe and click the notification button. And it is truly an honor having you view this particular channel, learning what you need to learn as cosmetology students, and continue to walk in excellence in everything that you do, and study, study, study. Stay tuned for the digestive system video broadcast. See you next time. All right, digestive system. I know a lot has been said thus far, but we going in toward the finish line when it concerns, in this particular broadcast, of these broadcasts, the anatomy and the basics of anatomy and physiology. All right, we're in the gut, the intestines, however you want to say it. We're going to be talking about the digestive system. Just touching briefly on the digestive system as we progress along toward the finish line of anatomy and physiology. These particular broadcasts are specially formulated, specially designed, specially structured for you to help you become a student of excellence when it concerns the cosmetology arena, so that you can graduate or pass your state board exams and graduate into the new transition of life as a beauty professional, a cosmetologist. All right, so that is why these broadcasts are put together for your viewing pleasure and your learning pleasure. All right, digestive system, also known as the gastrointestinal system. Gastrointestinal system. This particular system, that digestive system that is responsible in the notes. And remember, these are the definitions of public information. You can find them all over the internet. So be sure to do your research even more as a student to learn more about these different areas regarding the digestive system. This particular system is responsible for breaking down foods and nutrients, foods into nutrients and waste. So what the digestive system does is break down foods into nutrients that your body can use, and also it helps to separate the nutrients that your body can use from the products or the byproducts that your body cannot use, and eliminate it from the human body. The digestive system consists of the mouth, stomach, intestines, salivary glands, gastric glands, and other organs. Now, digestive enzymes is the product or the substance that break down food. The digestive enzymes are chemicals that change certain types of food into soluble. Remember the word soluble. If you're not familiar with that, look it up, refresh, look back on these videos, and I will share the information even more about soluble, what is soluble and what is insoluble. But here, these digestive enzymes are chemicals that break down foods into soluble forms to where it can be easily dissolved by and used by the human body. So soluble, meaning that capable of being dissolved, absorbed, in so many words. It puts the foods in as with these digestive enzymes, these chemicals break down food into a form that can be easily dissolved by the human body. Now, when it concerns the excretory system, We're getting ready to start the next topic of the excretory system. And remember, this particular broadcast isn't all exhaustive. We're just touching on the highlights of these vocabulary words. You do the groundwork, you do the back work, you do all the work from your end regarding expanding widescreen these particular vocabulary words in each video. The excretory system is a group of organs including the kidneys, the large intestines, the lungs, the liver, the skin, that are responsible for purifying the body and eliminating toxins and waste matter, that is. Now, each of the following organs, when it concerns the excretory system, plays a vital function in the excretory system. The kidneys excrete urine, the liver discharges toxins and produced during digestion. The skin eliminates waste through perspiration. That means when you're sweating. So that's the excretory system. The last 2 points of the excretory system, it talks about another area, which is the large intestines eliminates decomposed or undigested food. It's amazing how food can stay in the human body, especially certain types of meat. Beef is a known fact. It doesn't matter whether you like eating it or not, whether you are carnivorous, I mean a carnivore eater, a meat eater, or whether you are a vegetarian. But, you know, most vegetarians, I can't say 100% of them because we're not perfect in 100% of anything. You know, that's just the nature of the human being, the state of the human being at this present moment. But individuals that eat meat can stay in the intestines and it literally rots. Certain types of meat. So do your research to find out which type of meats, you know, stays in the intestines for a long period of time. The body really works hard, especially at processing meat products. I enjoy eating meat occasionally. I enjoy eating, you know, like lean meats, not as much, but I do like to get the protein into my system to go along with the carbohydrates and the fats that I ingest, healthy fats that is, I ingest, and carbohydrates. So there has to be a balance, people. There has to be a balance. The lungs also is part of the excretory system, and it helps the body eliminate carbon dioxide. That's one of the main objectives of the lungs. Respiratory system. The respiratory system consists of the lungs and air passages and enables respiration, supplying the body with oxygen and eliminating carbon dioxide, as aforesaid. Respiration is the act of breathing, is the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen in the lungs within each cell. Respiration. Lungs are spongy tissues composed of microscopic cells in which inhaled air is exchanged for carbon dioxide during the breathing cycle. So carbon dioxide, a lot of emphasis here, the lungs helps to get rid of that particular element from the body because the buildup of carbon dioxide is not good and it can cause the body to shut down or cause the person to pass out with a tremendous buildup of carbon dioxide. The respiratory system location is, when it concerns on the anatomical side of things, is located within the chest cavity. Diaphragm. The diaphragm is a muscular wall, as it indicates in my notes, that separates the thorax from the chest, from the abdominal region, and helps when it concerns controlling breathing. Diaphragm. Inhalation. Breathing in through the nose or mouth. Inhalation. Breathing in through the nose or mouth. Exhalation. So in inhalation, before moving on, it helps to contribute blood, oxygen into the blood. Helps oxygen pass into the blood. Inhalation. Oxygenate the blood through inhalation. Breathing in through the nose or mouth. Exhale or exhalation, breathing outward carbon dioxide. So every time you breathe out, you can see those molecules, especially when it's really frigid or cold outside. That is actually carbon dioxide being expelled from the body, from the lungs. Integumentary system. Integumentary system. This is the system that is regarding or consists of the skin, the largest organ of the body. And hopefully for the ones that have been watching these broadcasts, these lessons, that you remember that the integumentary system or the skin is the what? It is the largest part. It is the largest organ of the body. Okay, all right, you got it. I hear you out there. You got it. You got it. The integumentary system consists of the skin and its accessory organs, such as the oil and sweat glands, sensory receptors, hair, nails. Okay, that is the integumentary system. Very complex system. So do your studying when it concerns what you need to know about the integumentary system. The word integument, I just want to add this before moving on. The word integument means covering. Skin covers the entire body. Reproductive system. Reproductive system. The reproductive system is self-explanatory, but it includes the ovaries, the uterus, the testicles, the tubes, the uterine tubes, the vagina in females, and testes, or the prostate glands and prostate glands in males, testes and prostate glands in males. I want to make sure that's clear because my words as I was describing was kind of running together. So the penis in the adult males and the urethra in the adult male as well consist of the reproductive system. Again, the reproductive system is designed for reproduction of human creation in this world. Now, I think I know, because that's the end of this particular lesson. Aren't you glad? We just went from the beginning when it concerns the basics of anatomy and physiology, and we're concluding it here. There will be more in the future regarding touching bases with these areas. Please believe it. But at this particular moment, congratulations to you for sticking with me in these lessons, learning about anatomy and physiology as a student of cosmetology. And hopefully you continue to progress and grow in the areas of this particular subject so that you can acquire the knowledge you need to do what? There you go. Pass class and pass that state board exam. How many times? One time. You are a one-timer state board exam of cosmetology taker. All right, and I will help you get there. Just keep watching. All right, again, that ends today's video. Study, 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 and I'll see you next time. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification button. I always wanted to share that with you so you can stay on top of the information and the videos that we post to our channel to help you learn what you need to learn. Bye-bye.